Assalamu alaikum, this is Nabila Sigdatoma welcoming you to the English news from Btv Chattogram. Let's begin with the top stories. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman hands over job appointment letters to 3 physically challenged persons. Premier Tariq Rahman raising hopes for desired changes over running government comments LGRD minister. Imperishable spirit of liberation war embedded in the spirit of July, says Information and Broadcasting Minister. Government working to curb human trafficking and cyber crime with highest priority, says Home Minister. Prime Minister's Gold Cup National Football Competition, biggest sports event in country's history, to kick off in Chattogram in September. Former Minister Abdul Latif Siddiqui sent to jail in crimes against humanity case over Shapla Chottor murder. US carries out retaliatory strikes in Iran in response to missile attack on US base in Jordan. Viewers, those were the top stories. Now moving on to the details. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman handed over appointment letters to 3 persons with disabilities for making physically challenged people self-reliant and their integration to mainstream society. The Premier provided the appointment letters to them at his Cabinet Division office at the Bangladesh Secretariat today. The 3 recipients are Aisha Akhtar from Shongbad Upajala in Gaibandha, Neela Khatun from Kamarhand Upajala, Shirajganj, and Mohammad Hismat Ali from Naral Shodor Upajala. The recipients expressed their joy after receiving the appointment letters directly from the Prime Minister, describing the day as the beginning of a both new professional journey and new aspirations. Neela Khatun, who was born without both hands, completed her master's degree by writing with her feet. She has been appointed as a teacher in the National Foundation for the Development of the Disabled in the capital. Aisha Akhtar also completed her master's degree by writing with her foot. As she has no hand, she received the appointment letter with her mouth. She has been appointed as a class supervisor in the Biam Laboratory School and College in Gaibandha. Meanwhile, visually impaired Mohammad Hasmat Ali has been appointed as a union social worker under the Department of Social Services. Social Welfare and Women's and Children Affairs Minister Professor Dr. AZM Jahid Hussain, State Minister for Women's and Children's Affairs Farzana Sharmeen, Social Welfare Secretary Dr. Muhammad Abu Yusuf, Managing Director of National Foundation for the Development of the Disabled Persons Muhammad Tariqul Alam, and Director General of the Department of Social Services Shah Muhammad Mahbub, among others, were present. Founder of Bangladesh Protibondhi Kalyan Shomiti, Abu Sattar Dulal, thanked the Prime Minister for providing employment opportunities to the 3 persons with disabilities. Dulal called on the Prime Minister immediately after the appointment handing over ceremony to express his gratitude. The Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperatives Minister Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has said that the Prime Minister's leadership is inspiring hope for achieving the desired changes in the aftermath of the July uprising. Information and Broadcasting Minister Jahir Uddin Shapon said that the spirit of the liberation war is embodied in the spirit of July and that this must be remembered throughout the political progress. He made these remarks this morning at a program organized by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to mark July Martyrs' Day. As part of the observance, a photography exhibition was held at the Information Building in the capital. Among along with LGRD Minister and Information and Broadcasting Minister, State Minister Yasir Khan Chaudhry also attended the event. They also unveiled several publications focusing on the July uprising. The brother of July martyr Mir Mugdha expressed hope that the current government would build the Bangladesh envisioned by those who sacrificed their lives. The local government minister expressed regret that the desired changes have yet to be fully realized. Speakers at the event called for the construction of a separate memorial dedicated to the July uprising. They also stressed the need to ensure a healthy environment for political competition and urged political leaders to honor the sacrifices made by the ordinary people during the July movement by becoming models of positive changes. Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmad has said that the government is giving highest priority to protecting citizens from human trafficking and technology-enabled crimes. He made the remark while addressing a program in the capital marking International Day Against Trafficking in Persons 2026. The event highlighted the tragic incident in March this year when a boat carrying migrants drifted at sea for 6 days after losing its way while traveling from Libya to Greece. At least 18 Bangladeshi nationals, including 12 from Shongbad, died due to lack of food and drinking water. Despite such tragedies, the desire to migrate to Europe through irregular means remains strong, including a Bragg study. Although many migrants were lured with promises of good jobs, 98% failed to secure employment after reaching their destination. Experts at the event said that the human trafficking networks are increasing their social media, particularly Facebook, to target young people. The government has recently issued an ordinance updating the Prevention and Suppression of Human Trafficking Act 2012, marking it more responsive to current challenges. However, experts stress that the enhancing capacity of law enforcement agencies is essential to effectively apprehend traffickers. The Home Minister said that the government alone cannot prevent human trafficking, emphasizing that collective efforts from all sectors of the society are needed to combat the crime. Among the speakers at the program were Senior Secretary of the Ministry of Home Affairs, Munjur Murshid Chaudhry, Secretary of Law and Judicial Division, Liaquat Ali Mullah, Inspector General of Police, Ali Hussain Fakir, and Dr. Laura Tom Bond, the newly appointed Chief of Mission of the International Organization for Migration, IOM, in Bangladesh. One of the largest education-based sports event in the country's history, Prime Minister's Gold Cup National Football Competition 2026 will kick off in the port city of Chattogram. The press conference was organized on the occasion at the Chattogram Press Club today. Education Minister A.N.M. Ihsanul Haq Milon said more than 1 crore 60 lakh students from 40,231 educational institutions in the country will participate in this competition. Secondary level games will start in September and the higher secondary level in October. The minister said the competition will be held from the Upajala to the national level in phases. A total of 32 teams will participate at the national level in 4 categories. The Education Minister also mentioned that this event will play an important role in creating skilled footballers as well as building confident, disciplined and responsible citizens. State Minister for Lands and Chittagong Hill Track Affairs Barrister Mir Muhammad Hilaluddin, Education Secretary Abdul Khalik, members of the Parliament Irshad Ullah and Abu Sufyan, Chattogram Division Commissioner Dr. Mohammad Ziauddin, Chattogram Metropolitan Police Commissioner Hassan Mohammad Shaukat Ali, Deputy Commissioner Mohammad Jahidul Islamia, and senior officials from the administration were present on the occasion. After the press conference, after the press conference, a road show led by Education Minister A&M Ehsanul Milon was brought out from the Chattogram Press Club. The State Minister for Lands and Chattogram Hill Track Affairs Barrister Mir Mohammad Hilaluddin, City Mayor Dr. Shahdat Hussain, and members of the Parliament Irshadullah were present at the time. Later, a view exchange meeting held at the local circuit house, Education Minister A&M Ehsanul Haq Milon called upon concerned ones to play a responsible role from their respective positions to make this mega football event a success. The view exchange meeting discussed various steps taken to implement the football competition at the field level. State Minister for Land and Chittagong Hill Tracks Affairs Mir Mohammad Hilaluddin, Members of Parliament Mohammad Abu Sufyan, Giyashuddin Kader Chaudhary, Humam Kader Chaudhary, Divisional Commissioner Dr. Mohammad Ziauddin, City Mayor Dr. Shahid Hussain, and senior officials of the Chittagong Education Board and administration were present at the meeting. Health and Family Welfare Minister Sadr Mohammad Shaukat Hussain urged doctors to discourage unnecessary cesarean sections deliveries for pregnant women. He also stressed the importance of encouraging mothers to breastfeed their babies with colostrum, the first breast milk after birth. The Health Minister made the remark this morning while speaking at a program in Nipsim, in the capital's Mohakali, where the results of a research project were unveiled. Sadr Shaukat Hussain said doctors are the last hope for many patients, and their kind words and caring attitude can help people recover mentally. The International Crimes Tribunal too sent former Minister Abdul Latif Siddique to jail after showing him arrested in the crimes against humanity over the Shapla Chattor crackdown. The three-member tribunal, headed by Justice Nozrul Islam Chaudhary, passed the order following a petition filed by the prosecution. Latif Siddique was produced before the tribunal in compliance with an earlier order. A team from the detective branch arrested him from his Gulshan home yesterday. On July 27, the tribunal took cognizance of the formal charges filed by the prosecution and issued arrest warrants against 31 accused, including the ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Now, international news. US launches powerful attacks on Iran after President Donald Trump threatened to hit back very hard over a ballistic missile attack on an American base in Jordan. According to the state broadcaster IRIB, explosions have been heard in the Bushehr province where Iran's nuclear plant is located. The state broadcaster cited a deputy security minister in Khuzestan province as saying that US forces targeted some locations in Adabadan. IRIB also said 2 explosions were heard in the port city of Bandar Abbas in the Hormozgan province, and the similar sounds have been heard on the island of Abu Musa, Kish and Kishim. Meanwhile, Iraq condemns the US-Saudi strikes on the country, with the Popular Mobilization Force saying 20 of its fighters were killed while 32 were wounded. Iranian media says 4 Iranian advisors were also killed in the joint US-Saudi strikes in Iraq. The United States have announced the release of $600 million for the Harvey as it cuts off the World Health Organization from the Global Vaccine Alliance, and in a major financial blow to the United Nations group. In a joint statement, the US Department of State and the Department of Health and Human Services said The United States also reaffirms that it will not provide U.S. government funding to the World Health Organization through Harvey. The development, said the statement, is in line with U.S. President Donald Trump's instructions to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. and the Secretary of State Marco Rubio to negotiate reforms with Harvey to a condition for renewed U.S. support. According to the State Department, Harvey agreed work towards replacing mercury-containing vaccines with mercury-free alternatives in partnership with its board and partner countries.